everyone, and welcome back to the Fairy Tale family, where our goal is to put a little bit of magic into your everyday life. Today we're going to be talking about deluxe resorts on Walt Disney World property. We have so far covered where to stay in a value resort as well as a moderate, and I will leave links above to those videos as well as below. I wanted to go over deluxe resorts with you today, and I'm thinking about eventually doing villas, knowing that the price point is super high. So this is probably not for first-time Disney goers unless you are looking for a very luxe experience. So let's start off by talking about the different deluxe resorts that Disney offers. There are 9, and pardon me, I'm going to read off a list. I just don't want to miss any. The first is Animal Kingdom Lodge. There's Beach Club, Boardwalk Inn, the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, Wilderness Lodge, the Yacht Club, and the newest that has not yet opened is the Star Wars Hotel. So I'm going to get into the details of each of those quickly and briefly, but I think I want to answer your question first about what everybody's thinking, the money. So in the former 2 videos where we talked about the price points for value and deluxe, the jump between value to moderate is around $100 a night. Now, that is absolutely not true as a jump for moderate to deluxe. So at the very highest price point for a moderate, you'd have to go over $100 to get to the lowest price point for a deluxe. The cheapest off-peak travel time, not on the monorail loop, that I found per night was $459. So, okay, if you're thinking about traveling during a non-busy season, and I will also link that video right here, when to travel. If you're thinking about traveling during one of those times, this might be a great way to get into a deluxe resort that isn't financially immoral. Now, okay, I'm also coming from a place where I'm a teacher. My husband works for a town. We are Disney Vacation Club members, which when I talk about in the blog that's below, the deluxe resorts that I've had the pleasure of staying in, it's because we're Disney Vacation Club members. And a lot of times those were not deluxe resorts, they were villas. We'll get into that difference in another video probably, because I don't want this one to be too long. So $459 is the start. That's the starting point price-wise. Then that ranges up to $3,000 a night. Okay. Oh, okay. There's no okay there. That's more than my mortgage for one night. But here's my attempt at qualifying that. That $3,000 is during peak travel times. It is on the monorail loop. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And it has a theme park view as well as being a suite. So it holds up to 8 adult guests. So you're getting a much bigger space. You're getting on the monorail, which means that you have way better transportation options. And you're getting a theme park view, which is the best view of all. So for like creme de la creme, if you're going to split this with like 3 other couples, I don't know. It doesn't seem like something I would ever be able to do. But if you were in a financial place to do that, like, power to you. Good for you. Get that $3,000 room. I can't do it. Okay. So there is a substantial price jump from moderate to deluxe. That's been established. Now, hear me out, because once people hear that, and I know that Disney is expensive, once people hear the money, they're like, they rule out the deluxes. There are so many reasons to try to financially fit into a deluxe than not. The single con of the Disney Deluxe resorts is the money. I find no other cons. It's expensive. But is this a trip you're saving for years out in advance? Is this a one-time, once-in-a-lifetime trip that you're going with everyone in your family and you could do the suite? Is this an epic vacation for you? If so, you might want to consider the deluxes. There really are so many pros. Let's talk about the biggest pro for me, transportation. I've talked about this in the other 2 videos, but I'm going to go through each of the resorts and list out which of them offer different transportation options. Now, okay, here's a bummer. Animal Kingdom Lodge is amazing, but it is far from the parks and it is only travel by bus or Uber or Lyft or minivan service. So you're not getting those extra perks. However, you could wake up to a savanna view of giraffes roaming in front of you in the morning. Mark and I have done this. Pre-Disney Vacation Club, we got upgraded because Mark was going to propose in Disney World, which he did, and he wrote an email to concierge at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then they upgraded us. So we have had the pleasure of waking up and pulling back the curtains and seeing wild animals roam in front of us. It's pretty spectacular, and it's a view that is unbeatable for any other place in the United States. So if that's your scene, that nature, wildlife element, or you have children who love that, this is going to be a magical choice. But know that you can only get everywhere else by bus or car. Let's talk about Beach Club, Boardwalk, and Yacht Club. So I have stayed at the Boardwalk Villas, which is different from the Boardwalk Inn. I've also had the pleasure of staying at Beach Club. And all of these have the capacity to walk to both Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So there's a backdoor entrance into the International Gateway where you just walk right in. And France is just right there. That's pretty amazing to me. There are also little friendship boats that will take you to and from. So that's a huge bonus that of 4 parks, you can get to 2 of them by walking. Very cool. Okay, now we get into my favorites. The Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, and the Polynesian are all on the monorail loop. So if you have never traveled to Disney before, one of the transportation options that I love most is the monorail. It is a silent train, if you will, that runs on tracks above the ground, and it actually goes directly into the Contemporary, which is so cool. So Mark and I have stayed in the Contemporary, and we also are DVC members for Bay Lake Tower, which is the sister hotel to the Contemporary. So this is like our go-to spot. But the monorail runs directly into the Contemporary and stops at both then the Grand Floridian as well as the Polynesian. So being on the monorail loop means that you can monorail to Epcot or to the Ticket and Transportation Center and then transfer to Epcot. And the Contemporary also allows you to walk to Magic Kingdom. Is there anything more magical than walking to Magic Kingdom? Let me know. Also, there are plans right now that came out recently in the works to have a walkway to Magic Kingdom from the Grand Floridian, which is amazing. That's amazing. So again, 2 of the parks are accessible more easily. You can monorail to Magic Kingdom. You can walk if you're at the Contemporary, and in the future, if you're at the Grand Floridian. And then you can also monorail through to Epcot. So again, half the parks don't require a bus or a rental service. So transportation, huge pro. Another huge pro, and I have also talked about this, is signature dining. The deluxe resorts often have some of the best dining on property. So something that I have seen and we haven't done yet is like a monorail tour where you would like stop and sample and get like a glass of wine and a snack or an appetizer from each of the monorail stop resorts. I think that's a really cool idea. But the signature dining in these resorts isn't chicken nuggets and, Disney World cheeseburgers. It's really upscale. It's quite fancy. And you may want to check the menus before you bring your littles to them. The room space is much more luxury. You have a lot more space in a deluxe room. And the decor, which is definitely not character themed, is sophisticated and on theme with Disney, but in a truly like ultra fabulous way. And the mattresses are better. I know that that's like a weird detail, but the mattresses specifically at the Contemporary are incredible. They are just different. You are getting a different quality, and better sleep in Disney means that you get to spend more time in the parks. I think the pool crowds are also something to be noted as a positive here in these nicer, luxier, fancier resorts. They sometimes also separate out like a quiet space for just adults versus like the crazy kid space. So I think the pool accommodations are better. Of course, you're getting extra magic hours. And then the last two are something that you're not getting anywhere else. One is the view. So if you choose to stay on the monorail loop, Contemporary, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, you can choose, it is an upgrade, but you can choose to book a room that faces Magic Kingdom. Let me share one of my favorite memories. It's not even a favorite Disney memory, it's a favorite memory of all time. So, the first time that Mark and I stayed at Bay Lake Tower. Now remember, it's the sister resort. It's right next to the Contemporary. It uses all of the Contemporary's amenities. So you could do this in the Contemporary too. We stayed at a theme park view room. In the bathrooms, there are deep jacuzzi tubs. So if you know me, IRL, in real life, if you know me, you know that I love to soak in the tub. I will read, I'll do bath salts, I'll do bubbles. I love a soak. I love it. So, night one, we arrive. We're tired, weary travelers. Mark says, why don't you take a bubble bath? Don't have to tell me twice. So, fill up the tub with bubbles. Actually, I overflow the tub with bubbles because I put bubbles in and then I put the jacuzzi on, and it is Bubble City. It's Bubble City. If appropriate, sorry about the nose itch, I will post a photo of me in those bubbles. There's nothing yucky about it. I'm fully covered from tootsies to earlobes with bubbles. Now, okay, so I actually had to like scoop some of the bubbles out and put them in the sink. Okay, so now I'm just luxuriating in my beautiful Disney bubble bath. Also, I love their bath products. Mark then goes into the bedroom and pulls these two panels aside, shuts the lights off, turns on the television to pipe in the music, and I magically watch a Magic Kingdom fireworks show complete with soundtrack from my bubble bath. That's a top life moment for me. The birth of my child, achieving specific goals like purchasing my grandparents' house, meeting Mark, my wedding day, bubble tub, fireworks, Magic Kingdom. Wishes is not to be beat. There may be those of you who disagree with me, but come on, Wishes was the best. So, the views. You wake up and you can see the park. It really gets you going, gets you out of bed. We did this in our most recent trip. We did have a 2-bedroom, which is way bigger than we normally get, but Callie needed her own space, Mark and I needed our own space, and then my cousin Ashley also came with us and stayed in a separate room. But when Callie woke up and pulled the curtains back in the morning, Magic Kingdom was right there. You can hear the music, you can hear and smell what's going on Main Street, USA. It's incredible. And the last pro are the signature scents. So in deluxe resorts, there are signature scents per each resort. So our favorite, and this is a shout out, but it's not sponsored. If you love Disney and you've never had the pleasure of sniffing a Magic Candle Company candle, you're missing out. So this is the Contemporary, and Bay Lake shares the same scent. This is my favorite one. Okay, granted, I've only smelled a couple, but this is so spot on, and it's burned through, but I keep it up here because I will get whiffs of it as I'm working. Oh man. And scent is one of those amazing things that transports you back. I try to wear specific perfumes for like big events in my life so that I remember them. So like my day-to-day perfume is actually the one I wore on my wedding day, and it just reminds me of how special that day was. And scent is a powerful memory booster. So having this, just makes me so happy because it's the smell of walking into the lobby for the first time with Callie and her new ears on. Like, it just brings back all of those special memories of waiting in the lobby and being in the physical hotel space of the Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower. So that's my favorite. Right after that one burned out, we purchased Mark's favorite resort, which is the Polynesian. I'm not sure this one's exactly on the mark for me, but it also might be because like I don't know the Poly scent as much as I know the Contemporary scent. But I will link their website down below. I think there's also a code right now for 15% off, so I'll look for that too. But I want to try a whole bunch more of these candles. They have ones that range for like Christmas, like more like fireside, crackly. They have them for specific attractions if like you love the scent of a specific attraction. I love the smell of Spaceship Earth, so like that could be a good one. I think these would make really good gifts as well, but these are the two that we have been burning, and I just love them, fully support. Check them out if you haven't. Well, friends, I think that wraps up this video. We talked about the pros and cons, the con being money, the pros being literally everything else. We talked about the price points. My recommendation, I'm a Bay Lake Tower girl. It's my favorite, and I want to say I'd be willing to branch out, and I would, but I also love Wilderness Lodge. It has that like rustic camping but glamping element to it, because you guys know I'm not a camper. We talked about that in a former video. I also love the boardwalk. It feels so old-timey. I love the light bulbs on the boardwalk. You really can't go wrong. But those are my personal top 3, and Mark would say that his top 3 are Poly, Bay Lake Tower, and then I don't really know what his third one would be. Probably Boardwalk. He can leave a comment below if he would like to dispute that claim. So that is all for our Deluxe Where Should You Stay review. I would love to know what content you would like to see next. I'm in the process of creating my content calendar for the fall, so if you leave it in the comments below, I'll be sure to respond. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.